And of course, they are really doubling down on protecting this, like with what statement after the other, and it's all about accusing. Now you even have like the head of Amazon Prime, Jennifer Salk. She who personally cancelled what could have been their Game of Thrones, which is what Bezos really wanted, and gave us this instead. Oh, and the female-centric Wheel of Time. Even she came out now and said their popular narrative that we're all about criticism, but we're not about Rossism. And if someone criticizes us, we will accuse them of being Rossicists. So yeah, nice protection right there. Have you guys seen any of the reaction from Amazon in the last few days? And what are your thoughts on it? Because I could bring up articles, but there's like 20 of them, and they all say the same. I mean, they even brought out the cast of the Peter Jackson movies, gave them some monetized T-shirts.
Yeah.
With like this stupid design with like the various hobbit and elf ears and what have you, not saying you're all welcome here. Well, no one has really said you aren't, but hey, let's create that fake outrage.
Well, and that's exactly the tactic, right? Is go after them, call them racist. I mean, they're attacking Tolkien fans, and they're lumping everybody together. They've provided a lot of, there's threats against the cast, racist threats against the cast, and it's like, there are. What are the receipts? Can we see some of those, please? Do you have more?
No, we have to take their word for it.
Yeah, no. See, and that's the problem. This is again part of their playbook. They know we know their playbook, but they keep running the same plays, and we keep saying that this is your normal thing: attack the fans, call them racist, isphobes, whatever. And you're right. I mean, the title of this stream, the tripling down. That's where we're at. And it's not that's not how you defend your property. In fact, you shouldn't be in a position to defend your property. You should take the criticism that people have levied since the very beginning, when you started to put this thing together, that you weren't honoring Tolkien in any way. You should have just, steadied yourself on the idea that you were making a 11-year-old girl fan fiction creation that was only tangentially somewhat interested in Tolkien at all. And that's where we're at. I mean, they can't get the character right. The Galadriel is like you said, unlikable. This is a lady. If she's being directed this way, then God bless her. But she makes Brie Larson look like a I don't know, like a goddess, somebody that you just absolutely admire and worship. That's how bad this portrayal of Galadriel is. Again, I'm not watching it. I'm done. So, but hey, go ahead.
There's also, kind of like these insertions of her character. Like, for example, when she ends up on the raft of Jericho, at least that's what I call it. And then all of a sudden, all the other 8 people disappear in the storm. And, she's alone on a raft with this good looking guy. I can't help but think that this was something written by somebody who this is their fantasy. This isn't based on anybody's story, but something that popped into their head. Wouldn't it be cool if she ends up with this cute guy and, he's hot, and it's just so unrealistic the way that was done in that manner. And then when they even marketed that scene where she's in the water, this ridiculous, now that it's a little ridiculous because she's in the middle of the ocean. We know this is kind of silly, not well thought out, but in the marketing, she's there in the water, like it looks like something out of the Pelican Brief or whatever you want to call it. She's in the water, and it didn't occur to them to put the giant sea creature behind her, which would have been very frightening to see. And people would have said, well, what is that? Is that a sea creature? But it didn't occur to them to use that shot. They just said, yeah, let's get a shot of her wet in the water, and that's going to be amazing looking. And it didn't look amazing. And it was ridiculous The entire scene was ridiculous. It was just so she could hook up with this guy, so to speak, and have this companion who she's not very nice to. And it's absolutely ridiculous, but he had to be one of the best looking, hottest guys in the show. They are anti-youth in the show because everybody is kind of older looking, and they made a point to make everybody look very youthful if you're an elf, regardless of your age. But we're not seeing that here. So there's another element that they're bringing into this is that they're not so focused on the beauty, let's say, regardless of, let's say, even if you do look youthful, you're still beautiful. They don't want anyone to look a certain way in this particular show because that was focused on, I think, in the original series. So now we have people who were dramatically older, and it's shocking to see some of these elves. I mean, even the way that they portrayed Cordova, who plays, I can't remember the elf's name. This man is a good looking man, and they've managed to kind of remove a lot of his good looking characteristics of this man. He's good looking. So
John Wendenloss?
Yes, I believe so. Yes. But he's a good looking man. He's the one who gets chained, Andre, and whoever watched that, he gets chained. And, I think that even chained, I think the elves would still look amazing. So there's my fantasy. If they are always amazing looking creatures, even they had to dirty and scruffy them up somehow to get this point across of just pushing back on a lot of normal things that most people would find attractive and pleasing in a fantasy style story.
Well,
Exactly.
and that the water tank scene that you described looked like a water tank scene. That's the thing. It was like you spent so much money on this, and you can tell it was shot. You can actually see the actual like surroundings of this water tank they were shooting. And I was like, please do better, and again, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, you're going to have, obvious effect shots and stuff in various shows. They just did one in House of the Dragon that they're going to have to go back and repair because, his fingers were supposed to be missing. They were wrapped in green, in a green cloth so that they could be digitized out, and they didn't do the shot, or they forgot to, or whatever, but that's being fixed, by the way. But that's a minuscule nitpick, right? Whereas when you see, which it shouldn't have happened to begin with, but when you see something like this where it's like, oh my gosh, the effect shot is terrible here, or whatever else, it's like it's almost insufferable. But with that being said, unfortunately, I have to scoot. I hate to leave and chat and run, but I've got to go. So
thanks for joining us today, and everyone check out the Culture channel. Link is in the description. Anything you want to promote on the way out the door?
As soon as you're done here, I have a show, the Friday pre-flight. It's a celebration, episode 100. I will be doing my 100th Friday show.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Friday pre-flight episode celebrates 100. So it'll be fun. I'll have guests today, which that's a solo show with no guests. So today there'll be guests. So it'll be fun. So thanks for having me again. Love you guys. Everybody, take care. Watch good stuff. There's good stuff out there. There's a Brahmastra opens today at a theater near you. See you later, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.
And before we move on with the super chats, we have one more piece of Lord of the Rings news, or observations rather. Tom, we were sent a graphic by our good friend and producer Mike the Mexican Iron Man. Can you perchance bring that up on screen? Perchance he can't, so then I shall do it instead. I'm just gonna
it's actually the same thing Six just sent me, but yeah, okay. Hang on.
But anyway, because we mentioned already that they had absolutely fortified the reviews, and that there were only 755 global ratings. I mean, that's amazing. They claim 25 million people saw it in the first day or something, and there's 755 global ratings. But the interesting thing here is the distribution of the ratings. 5-star ratings, 56% of the approved ratings are 5 stars.
Looks like a review bombing to me.
Yeah, and next up is 1-star rating is 24%. And here's the really interesting. 2-star, 3 and 4-star are just 5, 5, and 10% each. So it's basically nothing. And that tells me that this is a show that no one really likes, because you have review bombing in the 5-star category, and really nothing else. Because if you would expect more people to be a little bit in the middle, but there's no one in the middle. There's 5% 4-star, 5% 3-star, 10% 2-star, and 24% 1-star, which tells me that most audiences sway around that 1-2-star, and it's genuine. And the review bombing, or bombing, as you apparently say it, I've only read it, sorry, is the 5-star rating. There's your bombing.